And we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our open mic. We are now going to be having our third speaker, who is Affreen, a 16-year-old from Siliguri, India. She is here to give a speech about an extremely personal story of cancer. We are incredibly grateful to have you here. Feel free to start whenever you are ready.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone. So, today I'll be sharing a story of my maternal aunt. She was suffering from cancer, and it was 2 years back. She had esophagus cancer. So, it started. She saw red spots on her lips, but she did not care at that time. She thought it to be some minor skin disease. She did not pay attention. And then her son urged her to go and see a doctor. So she went to a dental checkup, and then she asked the hygienist out there like what she thinks about the red spots. So the hygienist there said her that it may be HHT. So HHT is basically a genetic disorder, okay, that affects the blood vessels. So after coming home, she found some information regarding HHT, and her family also searched information. And then after that, so she went to see a local dermatologist too, but then that doctor was unable to figure out what happened to her. So her her friend is there who is a physician. So she referred to her a very good doctor, a dermatologist, and she went there. And then the doctor said that it may be HHT. So he also said it may be HHT. So and told her, referred her to a gastroenterology evaluation, and she had endoscopy too. So after endoscopy, the results came out, and it showed that it revealed there was a small mass at the lower end of the esophagus. So after that, the doctor told that maybe they can remove that. So they did not. Still, after 3 weeks, we found out that it was cancer. So after finding out, the whole family was terrified. And whenever you listen about cancer, obviously, so after listening to that, the whole family was terrified. And then, but my aunt, who is a very strong lady, she was very optimistic, and she told us, she calmed us. She told us that nothing will happen to me and all. So the doctor planned the treatment, and it involved chemotherapy and the radiations, and it also involved a surgery. So after 5 weeks of chemotherapy and radiation treatments, so basically they performed a surgery which was like 5 to 6 hours long. So after the surgery, the doctor also performed some other tests, and they found out that there were no cancer cells. Like, she was alive and she was survived, and then now she is doing very well. And the doctor even said that your aunt is a very strong person. Like, throughout the whole procedure, she was very optimistic, she was very strong. And he also mentioned that only 20% of this patient survived. So she was very lucky enough to survive. And and now she's doing well, and she's teaching in a very good school. She's a teacher. And I was talking to her the other day. I was telling her that I'll share her experience at an event. So she told me to mention like the things like when the people who are suffering cancer, like not to lose hope, because she did not lose hope. She's very optimistic and she's very strong. And she told inner strength matters the most in cancer. Like, if you're strong, then you can really pass that phase. And now she's doing well. And yeah, that's it. I would like to thank you for having me today and letting me sharing the story. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel like with that last lesson, having inner strength, we really can learn a lot from that, especially with what's going on right now, not just for cancer, but just general, challenges, life's challenges. It's just really important to be positive. Um, I just have a few questions. Um,
Yeah,
how
sure.
how well do you think your community supports cancer patients and families? Both like financially and in terms of treatment and just emotionally as well.
Yeah, so basically, whenever cancer treatment, and it costs a lot. And we she was my aunt. She was not from a very wealthy family, but then the community around us gave her some money to help, and they helped a lot. They were supportive throughout the whole procedure, and they also gave her strength. she's a strong woman, but because the people around her gave her strength, and she fought this and she came out of this stage, and I'm very happy to see her like that.
Definitely. And like, to what extent do you think sharing personal stories about cancer is important? You know, like putting out a story to raise awareness. How important do you think that is? What do you think
I
it
think
does?
if you share the story, like I shared today my aunt's story, so I think the people who are suffering from cancer, they can get a lesson from the story. Like I told not to lose hope and have inner strength, so they can take a lesson out of it, and they can fight that passage. And that I think it is very important to share the stories, because if you share story, then other people will come to know. And the awareness cancer together, you guys are doing it, you are doing it very well. And I think sharing story plays a very important role
Mhm,
for the cancer survivors and the people who are suffering cancer.
mhm. And kind of going off of that, you mentioned the importance of sharing your story. How would you encourage other people to share their story? You know, if they're afraid to do so, or you know, they don't feel as though it would be that important.
I know, like there are people who will not come up and share a story. So I would like to tell them, like, don't be shy or don't be afraid. Like, nobody will judge you for your story. There are people who respect your opinions, your stories, and we love to hear more stories and get lesson from that. So I'd like to tell everyone out there, whoever is seeing today, to don't be afraid to share story. One's story can also change the life of someone.
Mhm. Definitely. And it can obviously give someone hope, you know, to hear someone that is going through the same thing, to actually be able to connect
Yeah.
with someone else. So I think it definitely gives people hope. Kind of, this is taking a different route, but as a young person, do you think that here getting through this experience and watching someone go through cancer, do you think it has ever affected how you've responded to the news of cancer? Do you think it's ever changed your perspective? Like, you're not feeling, seeing someone survive, you don't feel as scared. Obviously you will feel scared, but you don't feel as scared, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, can you just repeat the question? I do not understand, maybe.
Yeah, no, I know. I said it in a really weird way. As a young person, you know, witnessing um, someone experience cancer and seeing them survive and seeing them being really positive, do you think that has affected and impacted the way you now respond to hearing the news of cancer?
Yeah, it really like first at first, when I used to hear cancer, I used to like get scared a lot. Like, it is a disease, only some people survive and other people die. So, and whenever I heard my relatives who are suffering from cancer, anything, I feel like, but after this maternal aunt incident, after this incident, I'm like very optimistic and I support them. As a young person, how much ever I can support, I support them. And I tell them to be optimistic, obviously, and to not lose hope throughout the process. And I shared and I give example of my aunt's story, so that they can take as an example and a lesson. So yeah, I think it has my aunt's the whole procedure and the whole treatment process has also changed my perspective towards cancer. Like, people survive. It's not that all people die. There are some people who survive through cancer. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And kind of going off of that, you know, the whole idea, the misconception that cancer equals death. How do you think we as youth, by not only sharing stories, but how else do you think we as youth can educate others and spread awareness that, you know, cancer, there is a way out?
Yeah, like the I think nowadays there are a lot of student-led organizations who are doing this works, like cancer works. I think they can do this is one way where you can share awareness by sharing a story, maybe, or by educating not just the I think the community in you're living with. So, like, around the people who are around you, you can educate them also. Like, it's not everybody will open a student-led organization. No. So we can educate people around us And I think this will help. And by telling them that by supporting and by telling them that this pages like in Instagram pages they share stories and a lot of things, and they share awareness too, so we can tell them like you can go check out these pages and you'll get a lot of information. And there are a lot of misconceptions about cancer too, like people die, which like all people think the people who are suffering with cancer will die, but that's not it.
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
I think you should go and check out some pages related cancer, and by sharing story, which plays a very important role.
Mhm. Definitely. Okay. I don't have any more questions, but if anyone watching does, make sure to leave it in the chat and I will forward them to Affreen and I will send you back her reply. And thank you so much, Affreen, for being here with us today. We really appreciate what you have shared with us and we are so grateful to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Same here. For those who are watching, we will now be going on a break, and the next speaker will be in 20 minutes. So I will stop this live and start up a new one. So make sure to join our next live for our fourth speaker. Thank you so much, everyone.